Hello humans! For those of you who don't know me, my name is Embersunn. I go by Embersunn on all my social media platforms just in case you guys want to follow. I highly recommend that if you're learning how to program, you follow specifically my Instagram account. I post educational flashcards there and a lot of different programming concepts in different areas, so you guys should definitely check it out. And I know that most of you are coming from my Instagram, so if you're coming from my Instagram, you already know me. We're going to be continuing my beginner-friendly series with Python 3, and today we're going to be discussing dictionaries. Now this is going to be a two-part video topic just because I want to shorten my videos a lot more than 30 minutes while still being able to cover the basics. So make sure to subscribe to my channel in order to keep yourself updated on the videos that I am posting, and keep an eye out for part 2. But without wasting any more time, we're gonna get into it.
I encourage you to not only take notes on the slides, but also open up your coding editor of choice and follow along. I will be using Sublime Text. It's a very beginner-friendly coding editor. And if you're a beginner, I definitely suggest trying out Sublime Text. But let's go ahead and let's begin learning dictionaries with Python 3. Now, what exactly are dictionaries? Dictionaries are a data structure that is used to collect and store pieces of data in an unordered fashion. One of the main concepts you have to know about dictionaries is key-value pairs, and I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate what key-value pairs are by jumping right into the code. Let's go ahead and let's assign a variable to our dictionary. We're going to call our variable human, because we're going to put in some important information on one particular person. Now I'm going to use myself as an example just because it's easier for me. And in this dictionary, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write down my name and my age. So the first key point is going to be name, and it's going to be written in between quotation marks. I'm going to follow this up by using a colon in order to separate this name key and assign its value. So I'll just use my name, Embersunn. And let's go ahead and let's give our second pair of key value. Let's go ahead and let's print this out so we can see how this looks so far. So I'm going to go ahead and print out the two keys separately with their values. So I'm going to call in my dictionary, and in these square brackets, I'm going to put in the first key, which is name, capitalized. And then the second key, which would be age. And let's go ahead and run this. So here we're going to see our name, Embersunn, and the age, 20. So what exactly did we do here? Well, we assigned our variable human two sets of information. Our first key, name, and the value associated with that key, which in this case is Embersunn. And the same concept applies for the second set. In order to print out the data in our dictionary, we use a print statement followed by the dictionary name and the individual pair we want to display. Let's go ahead and apply the same concept to store a student's name and identification number. Let's go ahead and name our dictionary student ID. And we're capitalizing ID. And in curly brackets, we're going to put in our key, which is going to be our identification number, 1176542. We're just giving it a random number as an example. Colon, and let's assign it its value, John Smith. Now you can do this in reverse, it's the exact same thing. Now let's assign a second variable. And in this second variable, we're going to go ahead and call in our dictionary followed by the key value pair of the ID. So now we can print out a statement using the F string. And we're going to type the name for student ID number is, and then in curly brackets, we're going to simply put in that student variable. And so now we'll see that the fourth line displays the following. The name for student ID number 1176542 is John Smith. So in line 3, we pull the value associated with the key of the identification number from the dictionary. This value is then assigned to the variable student. Now, what if we want to add a new key value pair to our already existing dictionary? Let's say we want to add John Smith's age to his list of information. We're going to go ahead and call that student ID, and in square brackets, we're going to write down the new key value pair. And its value is going to be, let's go ahead and let's print out the updated student identification for John Smith. So now we'll see the first thing we printed out, and then we'll see what's inside the dictionary list. We have his identification number followed by his name, and we have his age followed by the integer 26. Let's go ahead and let's review what we learned about key value pairs real quick. So we know that key value pairs are objects that represent specific data, and every key is separated from its value with a colon, and each pair of key value pairs is separated with a comma. And usually these key value pairs are set in an unordered fashion. So in certain situations, you're going to find it more convenient to start with an empty dictionary. Now in the comment bubble is an example of how an empty dictionary is formatted initially. But we will get to the coding part in just a second. Let's talk about two instances of when to use an empty dictionary. The first is when storing a user-supplied data in a dictionary. Another instance is when your code generates a large number of key value pairs automatically. But typically, you'll know when to use an empty dictionary once you're given a task. Let's go ahead and let's see this in code. Let's say you're dealing with multiple clients, and each client has a set of information that needs to be stored about them. Let's go ahead and let's work on one of the clients, and we'll call this client number 50. We're going to go ahead and leave this dictionary empty like so, and we're going to add to it. And now let's go ahead and let's print out his information. Okay, so here you're going to see all the information that can be found within client number 50's dictionary. We have the first set of key value pairs, the second, third, fourth, and fifth. And we did this by starting a dictionary from scratch and adding to it. Let's go ahead and let's talk about modifying values within a dictionary. And the comment bubble is an example of how you can modify a dictionary initially. Let's go ahead and let's do an example code. In this example, we're going to modify the color of a dinosaur. To the left, you'll see 3 key bullet points that is going to tell us how exactly to do this. The first thing we're going to do is give the name of the dictionary, followed by the key in square brackets that we want to change, and then assign it its new value. In this case, we're going to start off with a red dinosaur, and the idea is that we want to change it from red to green. Let's go ahead and create our dictionary. We're going to call our dictionary dinosaur. Our key is going to be the color, followed by its value pair, that we're just going to call it initially red. Let's go ahead and print this out using an F string. So let's run it. Here it is. The dinosaur is red. So just like we talked about in the bullet points, we call in that dictionary followed by the key value that we want to change. So we want to change the value of the key pair. So we're going to call in that key pair color and assign it its new value, which would be green. Let's go ahead and let's print out a new statement so we can compare and contrast the differences. And let's go ahead and let's just very quickly print out a little line in between. So now we'll see. The dinosaur is red. And in lines 9 and 10, we modified the color. So now the new dinosaur has been updated to the color green. And you can apply this concept to modify any value within a already existing dictionary. So that was part 1, guys. What we did was we learned the very basics of how dictionaries work. I mostly wanted to teach just the concept of dictionaries in part 1. And then in part 2, we're going to go ahead and venture out into more intricate details. Make sure to be subscribed to my YouTube channel so you can be up to date on all my latest content. And also go ahead and turn on that notification bell so you can get notified on when part 2 has already been posted. Also follow me on Instagram. I post some really cool content. I promise it's relevant to your life. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you on my next video.